Welcome to True Health Tuesday, and the truth will set you free. Now, 500 years ago, when a European guy, Galileo, invented the first telescope, he was excommunicated because he told the world that we revolve around the sun doesn't revolve around us. Well, currently, last week, our talk that I gave on cancer therapies was deleted from the internet. You can still get it at the drbvip.com site, but when you talk about natural solutions for chronic diseases, that's a taboo topic. So please go to the Dr. BVIP site and check out. Today we're talking about cancer. This is part 2. We're looking at natural solutions, things that you can do now to prevent it, and also what we do to reverse it. Now, please like this video, subscribe to our channel. It's going to help our channel grow and make a bigger impact, and share this vital, life-saving, world-changing information. Now, let's get into this. Now, this was inspired by Thomas Levine. Dr. Bergman, what do you suggest to do when you have stage 4 cancer and can't afford treatments that spread to the lungs, stomach, and from the thorax? I think it's from my wife. She's age 45, breathing toxic fumes from flooring cement. The hospital said she has swelling blood vessels in her brain. I'm not from the U.S., and we live in Vietnam. So let's look at the ultimate. Is cancer a malfunction of the body or a natural process of the body to wall it off? Now, if you look at this picture here, it's literally a central location with lines coming off. This is why the ancients called it a crab. And how do you say crab in Greek? Cancer. And that's the biggest thing. You've got to. If you're concerned about it at all, check out Dr. Thomas Seyfried, world-renowned research in the field of genetics and biochemistry. Cancer is a metabolic disease. Now, in his book, he concludes, no real progress has been made in the management of advanced or metastatic cancer in more than 40 years. The number of people dying each year and each day has changed little in more than 10 years. What we're doing is not working. So when you look at metabolic disorders, this is a totally different approach. Metabolism is the process your body uses to make or get energy from the food you eat. And literally, you're alive because you're getting proteins, fats, and carbohydrates broken down into amino acids, fatty acids, and usable sugars. A metabolic disorder occurs when an abnormal chemical reactions in your body disrupts this process. When this happens, you might have too much of some substances, too little of other ones that you need to stay healthy. Now, lifestyle changes need to be made to manage and prevent cancer. There is no magic pill that we can use to prevent or cure cancer. We must change our relationship with food and lifestyle to prevent and cure cancer. This is the key. When you're looking at it as a metabolic disorder, your body is literally forming the cancer. Quote, a new era will emerge for cancer management and prevention once cancer becomes recognized as a metabolic disease. The view that cancer is a genetic disease is no longer credible. Most cancer, regardless of cell or tissue and origin, is a singular disease of respiratory insufficiency coupled with compensatory fermentation. There's not really hundreds of different types of cancer that need to be studied separately, and there's a common mechanism for treating all cancers. Your quality of your life depends on the quality of questions. What am I toxic with? Why am I deficient in? What am I deficient in? Why do I have this symptom? Your body forms cancers. Now, first, we have to look at the stress. You have to address effectively the 3 stressors: physical, chemical, and emotional. Now, when you're under stress, you've got this automatic nervous system. You could be in stress or regeneration. Sympathetic is the stress response. Now, when you're in a stress response, this changes digestive system, reproductive, endocrine. Literally, the body shuts down those systems in order to get you to run away from danger. And then the adrenals are the first order of the endocrine system to break down. People call it adrenal fatigue. Now, what happens when you're in adrenal fatigue? Depression, memory loss, weak immune system, inflammatory conditions.
chronic fatigue, cognitive confusion. When you look at an exhausted thyroid, depression, heart disease, fibromyalgia, infertility, memory problems. So none of these are issues to treat individually. They're fire alarms telling you that there's a stress state in the body. Stress in the pancreas. You're looking at diabetes, heart attack, stroke, and these are the major killers in America. And it is not a defect of the pancreas. Your body is responding correctly based on the stress. Now, when you're in chronic stress, you got 4 times less flow to the digestive tract. Blood supply to the gut shuts down. What is the gut? You're looking at neurotransmitter production. You're looking at 80 to 90% of your immune system. It's called the gut-brain connection. So when you're in a chronic state of stress, digestive disorders are an extreme red flag. Now, this changes your metabolism. It elevates cholesterol and triglycerides. It increases food sensitivity. So all of those are warning lights. So the perfect recipe for disaster, what people go through with physical, chemical, and emotional stress, adrenal fatigue, then the thyroid hyperstimulation, pancreatic overload, hormonal imbalances. Then you couple in nutrition deficient diet, sedentary lifestyle. You look at toxic environment, processed foods, antibiotics, medication. This is a recipe for disaster. So step number 1, avoid something we can't even talk about on this channel. Vaccines, okay? Medications. If you're taking them, find out why you're taking them. Because most medications are given to help you with a stress adaptive response. Look at environmental toxins, non-organic or GMO foods, nutritional deficiencies, and chronic stress. You have to address the stressors. Let's go through the 5 keys to health. Nerve supply. Number 1, everyone has this automatic nervous system that regulates your metabolism. Now, it's in 2 parts, sympathetic and parasympathetic. Sympathetic is the fight or flight. Parasympathetic, which is located in the cervical spine and pelvis. So any trauma to those areas are going to negatively affect your body's ability to regenerate. And the way I explain it to people is, look, people only have 2 switches, stress or regeneration. Now, when you're in a sympathetic dominant state, what are you misdiagnosed with? You're misdiagnosed with elevations in blood pressure, elevations in cholesterol, elevations in blood sugar. And how many people are taking medications for those without addressing the underlying cause? We have to look at the autonomic nervous system. Now, when you look at this, according to Dr. Ron Perot, PhD, chiropractic care can strengthen your immune system by up to 300% stronger than those not receiving chiropractic. Why? Because chiropractors are literally removing the interference so the body can communicate to the brain and that central nervous system, and the central nervous system can adapt correctly. Now, when we look at this, your immune system is amazing. You have these phagocytic cells called neutrophils and macrophages. Macro means big eater, that engulf and destroy pathogens. And this is how the process works. When you look at this, 10,000 cancer cells a day are destroyed. And what do I mean by that? Well, your human body, you produce 1 billion cells every day. Every day, 1 billion cells gets built and 1 billion cells gets destroyed. 10,000 of those cells are abnormal, or you could call them cancer cells. And so your body has the process to eliminate it through respiration, perspiration, bowel movements, and urination. Those are the 4 detox pathways. Now, and this is under normal, healthy circumstances. Now, if you have a toxic deficient diet, you have poor sleep patterns, toxic environment, you're eating all sorts of processed foods, you're instead of 10,000, you're doing 100,000 or 200,000 out of the 1 billion cells. In your body, if it's defective in those 4 detox pathways, respiration, perspiration, bowel movements, or urination, then your body is going to be forming these tumors to wall off the toxins. It is a metabolic disorder. So you have to look at the autonomic nervous system. Are you in stress or regeneration? Bottom line, the only 2 switches that a human being has. And let's look at regular exercise. Every sedentary lifestyle increases all types of cancer, increases cardiovascular disease, sedentary lifestyle, not movement, depression, mood disorders, memory loss, cognitive decline. Type 2 diabetes, that's 95% of all diabetics. Erectile dysfunction, literally deteriorating your spinal health. Watching TV, and I love this out of the Journal of the American Medical Association. Prolonged TV viewing was associated with increased risk of type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and all-cause mortality. You can't just sit around. You got a hunter-gatherer body. If you move this, you're working within the design parameters. Human beings are not programmed to be inactive. When you look at this, the combination of accelerated and sedentary lifestyle, constant food availability disturbs this ancient metabolic processes, leading to excessive storage of energy in the tissue, dyslipidemia, and insulin resistance. And again, that's out of the Journal of Clinical Science. A consequence, the prevalence of type 2 diabetes, obesity, and metabolic syndrome has increased significantly over the last 30 years. What does regular exercise do? Well, it helps you get good quality sleep. Why is that important? Sleep is when the body regenerates, helps you maintain your weight, improves your resistance to infections, improves brain functions. Every type of exercise, except for the extreme exercises, reduce your risk of cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. You are blessed with a hunter-gatherer body. You got to move every joint every day. Look at the Journal of Alternative Complementary Medicine. Walking, grounding. Emerging research is revealing that direct physical contact of the human body with the surface of the earth, grounding earthing, has an intriguing effect on human physiology and health, including beneficial effects on various cardiovascular factors. I think walking barefoot in the grass. Do we recommend this for everyone? You can even see some massive neurologic changes by walking barefoot in the grass. Nasal breathing. Nasal breathing. The air is warmed and humidified before it enters your lung, but also this can filter. You have a good filter here. And by getting that air going by the mucous membranes, the nerves in your nasal passages are connected directly to the hypothalamus. And the hypothalamus controls that pituitary. The hypothalamus also gets all this information from the spine. Now, nitric oxide is made by your mucous membranes when you breathe through your nose. Now, nitric oxide, it's a bronchodilator and a vasodilator. That means it opens up the air tubes and opens up the blood vessels. Now, nitric oxide lowers your blood pressure, increases oxygen absorption, kills bacteria and viruses, and boosts your immune system. But so nasal diaphragmatic breathing, start breathing this way. And remember, that's part of your 4 detox pathways: respiration, perspiration, bowel movements, and urination. So we give conscious breathing to every patient. Now, how does breathing affect you? Reduces mental and physical fatigue, helps blood circulation, oxygenation, stimulates that parasympathetic nervous system. So that's the ability to rest, digest, and repair. When you're diaphragmatic breathing, you're massaging the internal organs. So you're helping lymph flow of the gut. The gut is 80 to 90% of your immune system. It's also called the gut-brain connection. Now, diaphragmatic breathing helps eliminate toxic waste, strengthens your immune system. And this is why when you're exhaling, you're breathing out a lot more than just the CO2 waste. You're breathing cellular waste out of the byproducts. Now, proper nutrition. Remember, you got a hunter-gatherer body. I tell people the diet isn't magic. It's just got to be like your great-great-grandparents. 100% organic, healthy, free range, as natural and normal as you can. Hook up with a local farmer, try and grow some of your own food. That's going to be the key. Healthy fats, such as coconut oil, avocado, olive oil, fermented vegetables, probiotic supplements to build that gut flora, juice vegetables, blend fruits, raw dairy, incredibly good, and reduce omega-6 and increase animal-based omega-3s from small fish, anchovy, mackerel, sardine. Fermented foods are amazing. We had a fermentation party here for my birthday in April. I mean, I think it was fun. Look at doing your own fermentation, but look at kefir, kombucha, sauerkraut, pickles, miso, kimchi. It's so easy to do your own fermenting. Black seed oil. I mean, amazing. This is biblical oil. It's also in the Quran and the Torah. Over 800 peer-reviewed studies proving the benefits of black seed. Antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, bronchodilator, antifungal. Let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. Turmeric, amazing. Turmeric, long used spice throughout the world. Anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, antioxidant, anti-cancer, neoplastic properties. And it's delicious. Curcumin in cancer, a derivative of turmeric and the pigment that gives its yellow-orange color. Curcumin, and this is why turmeric root, man, we're chopping it every day. Inhibits the proliferation of tumor cells, inhibits the transformation of cells from normal to tumor, helps destroy mutated cells, decreases inflammation, prevents the development, helps prevent the development of additional blood supply necessary for cancer growth. That's angiogenesis. I mean, turmeric, curcumin, and then vitamin C. When you're looking at groundbreaking research, vitamin C was selectively cytotoxic against cancer cells, and that's one of the potent IVs that we use. But make sure you look at the type of IV you're getting if you're taking cancer or vitamin C. According to Ronald Huntington, international recognized expert on vitamin C, quote, if you're going to treat cancer, you can't rely on one modality. Even though we focus on IV cancer at our clinic, we measure nutrient levels. We have people re-examine their diet, encourage detoxification strategies, regular exercise, adequate sleep, improving interpersonal relationships. All of these have a bearing on your outcome in cancer. What's he addressing? Physical, chemical, emotional stress. When you look at agouti mice, now these mice have a gene that they're literally bred to cause obesity, cancer, early death. Now, the offsprings had the same traits. What they did a great experiment. The pregnant agouti mouse, they changed one thing to give it appropriate nutrient that the mouse was missing to the offspring. What's interesting, the offspring had a normal resistance to disease, totally changed their color, and the tumors that they were bred to get were not there. Let's look at dark green leafy vegetables. Every dark green leafy vegetable, kale, collard greens, Swiss chard, romaine lettuce. I love beet greens. If you get the greens off of the broccoli plant, it's incredible. All of these protect against mouth cancers, esophageal cancers, stomach, ovarian, endometrial, lung, colorectal cancer. And then look at all the sulfur-containing vegetables, garlic, onions, leeks, chives, scallions, all decrease colon cancer and stomach cancer. When we look at isothionates in cancer, a phytonutrient for its potent anti-cancer activity. And this is at a Journal of Carcinogenesis. Cruciferous vegetables such as cabbage and relatives of cabbage such as broccoli and cauliflower contain the isothionates, which we believe are responsible for cancer preventative and anti-carcinogenic activities. And let food be your medicine. So let medicine be your food. Broccoli sprouts, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, cabbage, arugula, watercress, horseradish. Oh, broccoli and Brussels sprouts have the highest amount of isothionates. And I'm telling you, if you're growing your own broccoli, cook up the broccoli leaves. Carrots, amazing. If you lightly saute a carrot or juice them, you're going to get a lot more nutrients than eating them raw. Beta carotene, an antioxidant, protects cell membranes from toxin damage in the slow growth of cancer cells. And again, carrots, we're talking organic and healthy, can help decrease mouth cancers of the mouth, esophagus, stomach, and the cervical area. The antioxidants are effective against HPV. Carrots contain falcarinol, a natural pesticide. While they leave them whole while steaming or boiling, cut them after they're done, and that reduces the loss of nutrients. But the steaming actually breaks up the fiber so you can get more. And then look at berries. Oh my God, eat for your color. Strawberries, raspberry, blackberries, blueberries, cranberries, super rich in antioxidants. That type of food helps decrease colon cancer, lung cancer, cancers of the mouth, esophagus, stomach. Amazing. But again, they all have to be organic, because when you're looking at berries, particularly if they cross state lines, they are sprayed with herbicides, pesticides, a number of different things. And then look at the phytochemicals in broccoli, cabbage, kale, cauliflower. And again, these help decrease the cancers of the mouth, esophagus, and stomach. Tomatoes, amazing. Okay, potential weapon against cancer. But this is not just the red coloring in tomatoes called lycopene. Look at watermelon and pink grapefruit and red bell peppers. Lycopene can stop cancer cells from growing, including prostate cancer, breast cancer, lung cancer, endometrial cancer, and the uterus. This is why that original letter or comment is so important. If you're stuck in Vietnam, you don't have a lot of, or living in Vietnam. I actually live in Bangkok or Thailand part of the year, and it's a nice place to be stuck. But you can get organic vegetables everywhere. Start growing them your own. Now, what does this do? What does the lycopene do? It boosts your immune system, stops the growth of tumors by interfering with abnormal cell growth. Eat the lycopene, eat it cooked. That breaks down some of the plant cell walls. Eggplant extract. Now, this is found in eggplants, tomatoes, potatoes, bell peppers, and tobacco. Okay, and I love this. Dr. Bill E. Cham, leading researcher, BEC. Now, quote, the mode of action of the SRGs and glucocalcaloids, solidine, rhamnosi, that's why I'm just going to call it BEC, is like any current anti-neoplastic anti-tumor agent. The specific receptors for the SRGs present only on cancer cells, but not normal cells. For the first step of the events that lead to apoptosis, that's programmed cell death in cancer cells only. And this may explain why during the treatment, the cancer cells were being eliminated and normal cells were replacing the killed cancer cells with no scar tissue being formed. Using eggplant extract, vitamin D. Women with the highest levels of vitamin D have reduced cancer risk of more than 50%, including breast cancer. And when you're looking at 2007, large double-blind placebo-controlled trials showed 77% reduction in breast cancer if they take 5 to 10,000 international units a day. Now, vitamin D is best produced through sunlight exposure. Fair-skinned people need 15 minutes. Dark-skinned people need more. And the further away from the equator, you need more. But high levels of vitamin D have showed a lower risk of pancreatic and breast cancer, colon cancer, and rectal cancer. Vitamin D is one of the most potent steroid hormones in your body. Now, people with low levels of vitamin D, those are called people with cancer. I mean, there are over 830 peer-reviewed studies showing vitamin D's effectiveness in treatment of cancer. Normalizing your vitamin D levels will reduce your risk of cancer by over 50%. When you're looking at the cytotoxic agent, vitamin C. So look at vitamin C, vitamin D, incredibly important. Now, sufficient rest. Rest is when the body regenerates. Lack of sleep. What does poor sleep patterns do? Increased cardiovascular disease, cancer, diabetes, obesity, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. All of the responses, all of the main killers and most popular diseases in America. Now, what are the solutions for this? Well, look at sleep as the most important part of your day. Got a number of videos on sleep, but you've got to address all the stressors, create your sleep environment, because you're going to go through these 90-minute periods called rapid eye movement when your body is in this healing state. All your energy is going to regeneration. When you complete that 90-minute cycle, your eyes open and then they close. So the area you're sleeping has to be so dark or you can't see your hand in front of your face. Get some eye coverings, nightshades. I recommend 21-day program to limit your sleep to 6 hours a night, not for children, but for adults. Realize that lack of sleep has a similar effect as alcohol, so your reaction time is going to be impaired. Avoid excessive stimulation before bed. No electronics, no TV, cell phones, anything before bed. That can put your brain in a beta wave state, but also the blue light literally decreases melatonin, and that limits or decreases those periods of rapid eye movement. Exercise regularly and look at something to address the emotional state. But check out our sleep videos. I go into great detail there. And then prayer and meditation. Your thought process is everything. Even the dysfunctional CDC says 85% of all diseases is caused by emotion. Now, up to 90% of doctor visits in the US may be triggered by a stress-related illness. Now, how to deal with emotional stress? Daily prayer and meditation. And we recommend the diaphragmatic nasal breathing. When you breathe out, gratitude, love. I like neurolinguistic programming. We teach every patient the neurolinguistic programming. Emotional freedom technique is great. DeMartini method is fantastic. The book by Dr. Joe Dispenza, Becoming Supernatural, you have got to read that if you want to prevent disease or reverse a disorder that you may have acquired. Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza, just brilliant. Now, in Mexico, we'll do the vitamin IVs, the detoxing. We use a type of vitamin C called L-ascorbic acid, so we can do 100 grams a day without negatively affecting the body and having a massive positive outcome. Hyperbaric chamber, light therapy, and we do live blood cell analysis before and after the IVs to see if they're working. And so literally, you've got to fix the physical, chemical, emotional stress, and then you detox the system, and then the body can regenerate. It's really that simple. And these are some of the other therapies that we offer. Okay, stem cell therapy, IVs therapy, integrated cancer therapy, light bed, that extracorporeal blood oxygenation, literally oxygenate that blood running through a machine. Ozone therapy. Please check out our site. At our holistic care center, we've got Bergman Family Chiropractic, American Biodental, and American or Holistic Care. We have everything in one location. So give us a call. If you have any questions, give me a call, but place your comments below and we'll get to it. We got free transportation from the American side of the border to our clinic in Mexico. This is a really cool picture of part of the clinic, but just we're located in the floor of the Grand Hotel in Tijuana. And so it's safe, it's wonderful. And I got to tell you, the best restaurants around. You're going to love this. It's my wife's favorite area to go out to a restaurant. And I love this last quote. The body is a temple, but only if you treat it as one. Now, please post your comments, post your questions down below. I'll get to as many of them as I can. But just realize that your body forms cancer for a reason. You've got to look at the stressors that caused it, and then your body has the ability to regenerate healthy tissue. God bless you all. I mean, realize that cancer is a disease of the metabolism, and the planet was built for you, and you were built for the planet. Stay healthy, my friends. God bless.